Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of TableTakes. I'm your host for today. We thought that was a good decision. Let's see how that pans out for us. Noir. With me is my trusty dusty crew. So let's get to meeting them. Let's just jump right in there. First, of course, we got Javion with us. So, Javion, how's your week been? What you been up to, buddy?
I've been up to a whole lot of screen time. I've been watching a lot of Euphoria. I'm finally all caught up. Cassie, what are you doing? I'm also watching a ton of Bridgerton. I'm almost finished with that one. And of course, we had our final RPG session of Actoroki here on the Gen Con channel this recent Wednesday. And there are a lot of emotions going around, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But if you guys want to watch the VOD, it's on YouTube on the Gilding Light or Chaldea Studios YouTube channel. And we're actually having that acting session coming up. It's the final acting session. After that, we get the final watch party, and I hope everybody comes to that because it's bound to be exciting. I'm trying not to cry because some real sad stuff happened at the finale, but it'll be okay. I'm sure I'll be fine once I see the movie and I get to hug everybody. And we all hold hands and we can just get through it together.
we allude to some real sad stuff, buddy.
Yeah. It was a really fun session. You guys should definitely.
Aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
That's what I mean.
All right. Well, next we've got Peter. Peter, how you been this week? What you up to?
Oh, Noir, thanks for asking. Awesome. Actoroki was fun Wednesday night. I thought it was great.
We got one person almost about to cry, and the other was like, it was fun.
I'm Actoroki. I'm putting my filmmaker hat on, and if somebody's crying, that's like, ooh, get right in on tight on that, you know. I mean, that's good. That's good stuff. So Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific time, Gen Con TV, and it's also on the Gen Con video channel of YouTube. So I've been doing Actoroki and Gen Con TV stuff, but also I actually have news outside of that this week.
Uh-oh.
Last night was the beginning of the 48th annual Seattle International Film Festival, or otherwise called SIFF. And this is something my wife, Dee Fenton, and we love going to SIFF. And so usually we bang out about 50 or 60 movies during the course of 3 weeks of SIFF. I think this year our list is only like 25. It's a shorter SIFF, and we both got day jobs right now. So, but yeah, very much looking forward to SIFF. When this is over, when our game night's over, we got 2 movies tonight. We got 4 movies tomorrow. 4 movies on Sunday. We're hitting it hard.
That sounds like heaven. That sounds like heaven to me. Oh my gosh.
Let's hear a little bit more about you, Markus. What else sounds like heaven? What you been up to this week?
Oh, well, I've been up to my normal duties as the producer of TableTakes and helping all the cool Gen Con stuff happen behind the scenes. We got lots of new shows and lots of new cool stuff coming, so keep your eye tuned into the channel, the network, the Twitters, the Twitch, and you got lots of cool stuff. As for me, I've been mostly just kind of living my life this week. I feel very good. I feel very powerful this week. So, like, if anyone wants to, like, pick a fight with me on the street, I'm ready.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting way to be.
Just in case.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it here first. If you catch Markus in the streets, you may also be catching hands. As for me this week, I've just been vibing. I'm here. Just live my best life. But there has been a lot that has been going on in this week. You know who else is living their best life? I think Hasbro is living a pretty good life right now.
I think Fandom is having a pretty good life right now.
Well, true. So why don't you take us into why things are so good for those folks over there?
The money must flow. The money must flow. That's the way the economy works. Capitalism and venture capitalism and companies buying and selling. So if you haven't heard the news, Fandom bought D&D Beyond. no, WotC, excuse me, Hasbro bought D&D Beyond from Fandom. Now, in case you're like, but from Fandom, what did fans own? Like, if I'm a fan, am I going to get some money? Am I going to get paid? No, Fandom is the name of a company, not a community. They're started, I think, back in 2004. They've done a lot more than D&D Beyond. So this company, Fandom, has a whole bunch of wikis. They're known for wikis. They use Wikimedia, which is the engine behind or underneath Wikipedia, which they've modified to create wikis for a whole bunch of stuff. You've seen them. They're also using the brand Wikia. You've probably seen their wikis out there. So D&D Beyond was part of an acquisition that they made a while back, and Hasbro bought it from them for $146.3 million, and that's a jaw-dropping number for a platform. Now, I'm not saying it's not worth it. I think that I'm going into speculation mode here.
And your bonsai tinfoil hat.
I'm just going to speculation mode. It seems like a lot of money, but I mean, it's their customer base. Something like 70% of D&D players use D&D Beyond for tracking their characters, for all their source, their books and everything like that. It really is vitally important to the D&D community. So especially if Hasbro was thinking about expanding into like the virtual tabletop domain, like become a closer competitor with something like Roll20, this would be a strategic move that could rush them to that position in the market a lot faster than if they had to rebuild it. But I gotta say, at some level, it feels like they paid $146 million just to get their customers back. Noir, what you got something to say about this?
Well, first off, the first thing I got to say about this is if I had $146 million personally, I would immediately become a supervillain. Second off, I truly do believe that this was a really smart move on Hasbro's part. You had D&D like most people didn't even realize that D&D Beyond wasn't a part of Wizards of the Coast. It just seemed like
I had no idea.
It seemed like such a good idea. Of course, Hasbro and D&D would own it. And that did turn out to be the case. And I absolutely agree with Peter in the sense that this would be a great first step towards Hasbro or Wizards rather making their own virtual tabletop. I think the pandemic really showed the importance of making it so that these games can be played online. And with the growth of actual plays with your Critical Roles, with your Dimension 20s, there's a hunger for being able to play online with people all over the world. And so, this is the next step. I think Wizards has kind of had enough of people making more money off of their stuff than they are. So they're like, who's doing what the best? And, poaching them and trying to make sure that all of that money that's circulating around their properties stay in-house.
Yeah.
Javion, did you want to say something about this?
Well, I just think the idea of, D&D getting their own VTT, I mean, the possibilities for that. We were talking about Paizo getting a partnership with somebody to do a VTT sort of collaboration and what that could do for their game. I mean, just imagine D&D Beyond integrated directly. So all the books connected, all of the art in one place and really easy to use. That just blows my mind.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I just want to point out a couple things in chat. Star Reapers, the money flows like spice in Dune. I think that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
Spice
knew that sounded familiar.
Star Reapers 156.3 million. No, I think it's 146. But yeah, close. Found it under the desk. That's funny. So Terralist says it's a very large acquisition cost for a customer, especially if they're already your customers. I mean, that's my point.
I mean, well, the other thing that I think plays into this is you can't look at the world right now and not see that the best monetary platform, the best monetary plan is subscription services. I truly believe that the next edition of D&D may lean very heavy into that, in the sense that if you subscribe to like 6th edition, every month you'll get new content that's immediately uploaded and applicable to their VTT system. So
but there's a 6th edition, Noir? You heard it here first, everyone.
You let it slip.
I don't know anything. I'm just saying,
okay.
I'm just saying, but I think that would be. I think that if I were Wizards, that would probably be the way that I would want to go, which is like, instead of everybody going to buy Volos, this and that of Magic or whatever, each month you're gonna get new content. Just give us like $20-$25 a month consistently, so it is. I mean, I think that's maybe what is in our future, because everything is a streaming service now. we killed cable to give ourselves cable.
And WotC's buying their customers back. I love it. Right. I mean, I think it's probably. I mean, I have no way of validating the price. Strategically, is the right move for sure.
I mean, absolutely. And speaking of making the right move, I think that we as gamers can make some better moves, and I think that Javion, you might be able to tell us about some moves we can make.
Yeah. So if you like D&D and you're excited about Hasbro, you're probably also excited about animals, specifically animals that have either gone extinct or are in danger of doing so. So Dungeons and Dragons is coming up with a new RPG book called The Book of Extinction. It's designed to be used specifically with D&D 5e, of course, and it's seeking to raise awareness about the many species of animals who are currently in danger of becoming no more or are already gone. The really cool part about this book is it comes with 70 different species of creature, which can be allies or monsters, and they're either inspired by real life animals who are currently under threat of extinction or have already been wiped off the planet. So you actually get a chance to experience or, imagine what it would be like to have these creatures roaming about the earth today. So it provides game masters with a collection of tools to include a menagerie of weird and wonderful beasts, such as the Pyrenean ibex, which is a horned wild goat and is already extinct. We also have the Carolina parakeet. I love birds. I hope that there's like some extinct form of toucan involved, because that's my favorite bird. Tasmanian thylacine wolf is a wolf with the ability to become a ghost. So instead of like man turns into ghost, man turns into wolf, wolf turns into ghost. So it's a completely different dynamic. We also have the Icelandian great auk penguin inspired creature that can cast ice magic. I think another one, we actually see a design here for the stat block. If you check out this Dicebreaker link that's in chat, you can see the Ocean Master, this penguin, actually doesn't have just like mastery over its environment and being able to like survive in extreme weather conditions. It also has innate spell casting. It can cast rays of frost. It can control water. It can also call down lightning. Like, this is the coolest penguin. Like I wouldn't have picked a penguin to be like a spellcaster. So this is really interesting. We also got the North American passenger pigeon, which appears in enormous migrating swarms of pigeons. That's pretty cool. And we also get the Yangtze River dolphin and dodo birds. I'm sure you've all heard of dodo birds before. You've seen Ice Age. Anyway, any money that's earned by the publisher is going to be donated to support various conservation efforts that are currently attempting to preserve endangered species today. this is a really cool supplement that's going to give a lot of content for dungeon masters like myself, and I'm always on the lookout for more supplements because I have my imagination works in different ways than a lot of people. I don't just like come up with weird stuff. I copy a lot of stuff. I steal a bunch of stuff. I am the rogue of DMs.
Well,
So
I believe it's called homages if you do it like that. Yeah, it's an homage legally.
I'm just inspired.
Just a minute to theft. Arrest this man.
No. Listen, it's similar to, but legally distinct from, and that's how we do it.
Exactly. What kind of endangered or extinct animals do you guys want to see in this book?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Megalodon.
Yeah, I was gonna say dinosaurs. Like
dinosaurs.
Or I mean, the shark, right? Dinosaur.
Yeah, the big old shark.
Yeah, all the big stuff. Saber-tooth tigers,
Tyrannosaurus. Sorry, it's just.
See, now I'm trying to think of what kind of animal I love so much that I want it to have previously gone extinct so I can play it in my D&D. Let me speculate on that one for a minute.
Well, the good news is they're not all extinct creatures. That there are some that are endangered as well.
Ooh.
I think pandas would be a really cool animal companion.
That would be cool. You're right. Man.
Like a little mini panda cub that just like sits in your bag. You can just like really unleash it.
They're cute because of their hair, which means you'd have an outrageous stylist,
Oh yeah.
Build,
This is such a cool book idea. I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is really cool, and it's also good to see like nerdy stuff going to good causes. It's just near and dear to my heart.
Definitely.
You want to know what's near and dear to my heart?
I would love to, Noir.
Star Trek.
I saw that coming.
I'm sorry. I just took myself fake there.
So what do you have to tell us about Star Trek? Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. There's no segue. I just want to be. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, tight.
Modifius Entertainment has unveiled the new Star Trek Discovery campaign guide. Star Trek Discovery campaign guide allows players to add a new era of exploration to their campaigns. This 228-page book setting details the events between 2256 and 2258 in the Star Trek timeline, as well as adds 5 new playable species to the game. It also features a campaign set during the last 3 months of the Federation Klingon War, where the divided Klingon Empire has united under one banner and aggressively attacks the Federation. Look, I did not love Star Trek Discovery when it first came out. It has grown on me, and I have only played the Star Trek Modifius game once, and I loved it. So between them adding the show that I've learned to love and just having a taste of this system and wanting more, I am supremely excited about this. I got my captain uniform ready. I got my phaser ready to go. I need to play this game. Somebody help me play this game.
I'm working on it. I've been talking to them, like maybe maybe they'll send us some love here.
Modifius, love us.
We love you, and we love Star Trek.
Yeah, we love
and
Star
Trek.
Just
do grabby hands. Everyone grabby hands on the screen.
We love review copies. We'd love to review this if you have an extra.
Has anyone here had the chance to play the Star Trek Modifius game, or has anyone here watched Star Trek Discovery?
I've watched Star Trek, yes.
I know Peter has.
I have been reading the rules in the off chance that I might be playing it sometime soon.
It's a really good game, really good system. They use 2D20s.
I just think it's so fun. Yeah, so how does the 2D20 mechanic work real quickly? I haven't got to that part.
So each stat has a number based to it, and you want to roll your 2D20s. And I do believe that the way that it functions is that you want to roll under your attribute, and there are different levels of success and failure. So if both the D20s are a success, that's like really super successful. If it's under, then you're gonna have a bad time. So it's really fun, intuitive system, and also the rules for the starships themselves are also just really, really cool.
Oh, I actually didn't even think about how fun, like how cool the starship battles would be, because that's always a difficult mechanic in games.
Yes,
but I'm really excited to see how this is done. I didn't even think about that. Now I'm excited again.
I want to do a campaign. You know, I mean, like I actually want to do a Star Trek campaign.
Yeah.
Like I've never been big on doing the modules and stuff like that. So I like the idea that there'll be a source book, you know, for a campaign. But I just want, you know, let's roll up characters, create a starship, and go.
Yes, absolutely.
The customization that you can do with the characters, I'm gonna stop gushing after this. I swear to God. The customers that you can be, you know, you can have escaped from the Borg. You could be Borg. You can just do whatever you want. You can be half Klingon. You can make new species. It's so good.
As Noir, as the producer of TableTakes, I just want to quick correct you. You are going to stop gushing at the moment unless Modiphius would like to send us some rules and some books and stuff. Because then we'll just keep gushing nonstop.
Money, please. No, just kidding.
No, this is awesome, and hopefully keep an eye out around here. Maybe we'll get to play some of that sometime soon.
Maybe you'll see us. Maybe you'll see us at the table, but for now, you're just gonna have to see us at the tournament arc. Well, Markus, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, after that excellent transition, how could I not? So hello, everybody. My name is Markus. Have you ever dreamed of having your very own anime tournament arc? The drama, the teamwork, the crushing fear of defeat with the sweet taste of victory? Well, this is the game for you. Introducing Tournament Arc. Tournament Arc is a TTRPG where players find themselves choosing between 6 playbooks or character archetypes to form a team to journey or work together to win some kind of competition. Whether it be sporting event, whether it be like martial arts tournament, baseball bat juggling, I don't really know, but it could be pretty much anything. This is a self-described as rules light. The focus of Tournament Arc is enabling engaging in collaborative storytelling amongst the players as they flesh out the details of the shared world. One of the things I kind of like about this is a campaign takes place over a series of seasons made up of total 26 episodes. So it is like a long arc. The episodes are split between focusing on the tournament itself, whatever it may be, and the characters' lives outside of the competition, and mostly how they come crashing into one another. This is the belonging outside belonging system built on that, which I love from Wander Home, Dream Askew, and there was another one, Sleepaway, which is also by Jade Dragon. But these are some wonderful games where you take control of your characters. There's no GM. You further the story by collaboratively building NPCs. This is really, really fun. This is my exact kind of stuff. I love teamwork. I love coming together, and I love sports. The quick rule book is available, but available with the link that should be in chat, and the hardback version is coming soon. I like anime, I like arcs, I like tournaments, and that's that.
Markus, you are always finding the anime tabletop stuff, and I love it so much. You have no idea how obsessed I am with Haikyuu.
Oh yes,
the volleyball anime. Oh my gosh, just the idea of like a volleyball romance that I can just sink into.
Exactly. Exactly. And this, you can live this out with this.
I was just getting ready to ask everybody, when you hear tournament arcs, what anime comes to mind?
For me, it's just because I watched so much when I was a kid. It's probably Dragon Ball, the power tournament of power, the original Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
I would love to. Okay. I have to admit, I'm not a huge anime fan.
No, I'm just kidding. You're good.
Who knew? I just missed that somehow. But doing a anime version of an Arthurian tournament where there's jousting, grand melee, and the archery contest. I mean, that would be fun. Or an insult competition. That would be.
I mean, that could be. Imagine traveling 60, where you have to the intricate relationships between these characters on the bus to a Yo Mama off. That is anything is possible here from this wonderful game from Biscuit Fund Games.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say this last bit.
Please do.
The correct answer for what anime you think of when tournament arcs are brought up. The correct answer is Yu Yu Hakusho.
I was gonna say that. That was my second one. That was my second one. I have the entire box set staring at me right over here.
I feel like we are avoiding Kaijo, the butt battle anime, which
Okay,
is
so next up we have
obviously
Asmodee
stuff.
brings Unlocked Kids to let's moving right along. Noir, do you have something to tell us, please, God?
Yes, I got you, fam. Asmodee, a name you will hear frequently in any news involving tabletop because they are taking over the world of tabletop. They are releasing Unlock Kids, a new family-friendly adaptation of Unlock into retail May 6, 2022. Unlock Kids is for young players and their families to test their problem-solving skills in a series of escape games. This game comes with 3 stories that feature 2 adventures each. Unlike previous Unlock games, this game does not require an app to play. The game also comes with a tutorial to help beginners pick up the mechanics. The game box is going to come with a tutorial, 11 cards, 3 stories, which are 150 cards, and 7 special starting components. And it will retail for $29.99. Now, personally, I don't have any experience with Unlock via Unlock or Unlock Kids. However, I do love anything that introduces newer folks to the scene, to tabletop, and this seems to be something that is manufactured to do just that. So anything that brings new nerds to the table, I am down with. But how about the rest of you? Do any of you have any experience with Unlock?
I played a lot of Unlock. I have a bunch of the Unlock games with me, actually, on my shelf back here. And Unlock for kids, I mean, yeah, I totally see that. Escape games for kids, there's a huge market for it, obviously. It's a big playground. But Unlock tends to be different ranges of like difficulty levels.
Mhm.
So a lot of people find themselves like really stuck. Like even me myself, whenever I play these kinds of things with people, we have to play a couple of times just to get through all of the weird intricacies of them, because it's not always just like, oh, I play this card and now I understand the secret to unlocking the chest or whatever. It's like pick up this card and then lay it on top of this card, like turned in a certain way. So it really allows a lot of creativity, and who are more prone to creative moments and like unlocking imagination, right? For kids,
Mhm.
this is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad. I appreciate that perspective on it because I do love anything that brings new people to the table and giving them a little bit of an idea of what to expect. That's the way to go. So moving on forward from introducing new people to the table to preserving some art cards. Let's talk about Monument Men.
Okay, well, Noir, I got to stop you right there.
Uh-oh.
It's not preservation of art cards. It's preservation of art cards.
Oh, see,
Yeah, and also you're probably wondering like, okay, art is like, is this a Magic expansion? Is this a Pokemon thing? Or like, no. These cards are for gaming, but they refer to a much older classical game. Do you remember poker decks where you just like had every package had the exact same cards? 52 cards, suits. Yeah, okay.
Unfamiliar, never heard of that.
Yeah, okay. It's an older generation thing. Or just anybody that lives in Vegas. Okay, so there's a foundation that was called the Monuments Men back during World War II, and I must say there were also women in clothes. So unfortunate name, but that's okay. We had this group was dedicated to the preservation of art and other cultural relics that were either stolen by the Nazis or stolen by opportunists or lost during World War II. And it's been very instrumental in helping to recover a lot of the missing art. So they are coming out with a poker deck where the cards on the poker deck are pictures of missing pieces that are still missing now. And there's quite a bit. There's like thousands of pieces of art or cultural relics that are still missing, and including some really important ones. Like there's a Van Gogh, let's see, guy on the road to Tarascon, painter on the road to Tarascon. There's a Rodin, there is a Degas, there's a I want to say memoir. No, Renoir. There's a memoir missing out there. Somebody's memoir. Go get it. Anyway, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's like, it'd be great. You could have that deck, and then like, if you were over at somebody's house and you happened to see this Degas, you would recognize it, maybe. So. Well.
And then you steal it back for the people. That's awesome. And I do remember there was a Monuments Men movie as well that talked about that group. So I highly recommend that. Speaking of soldiers, I mean, let's talk about Gamers Workshop. What do we got going on there?
Yeah, so something that we missed a couple of weeks ago on the show is something I wanted to bring up now. The Adepticon 2022 was a massive success, and they revealed a ton of Warhammer content. So I've got a bunch of news for y'all if y'all like Warhammer. I mean, they revealed stuff for basically every single game in the line of Games Workshop. So let's just jump into it. For Necromundo, we've got Ash Waste was announced. We've also got for Warhammer Underworlds, the Harrow Deep, the Exiled Dead warband is coming out soon. And for Warhammer 40k, we've got the very exciting Chaos Knight Abominant and War Dog Carnivores. Now, what's really exciting about this is that we're not just getting the codex for the Chaos Knights and the Imperial Knight codex, but the Chaos Marines are finally getting 2 wounds. They're getting a full 2 wound stat sheet. It's something that the fans have been looking forward to for a really long time. So very exciting. And we also have for the Blood Bowl, we're getting the Norse and Beer Boars, as well as the Valkyrie. So we're getting a lot of Viking mythology in Blood Bowl, which seems pretty cool. We also have for Age of Sigmar, a new terrain box, which is going to have a new neutral monster unit for Realmscape Thondia. And it's also going to have the Kronspine Incarnate of Gore, which is a part monster, part spell kind of creature. And we also have the Night Haunt Battle Tome, the Night Haunt Battle Tome, and the Allrock the Drowner, which is going to help teleport its units around the board, because the Night Haunt is very well known for its maneuverability and positioning power on the field. But perhaps the biggest announcement that we got was the Horus Heresy box set, and we finally got a cinematic trailer to debut all of the art that's coming out. We're going to put a link in chat so you can check it out for yourself. So yeah, some Warhammer news for the Warhammer nerds out there. Definitely check out some of the stuff that's coming your way real soon.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'll never get... Oh, thank you. I'll never get tired of listening to all of the names for the Games Workshop characters in Warhammer. It is so... Kronspine Incarnate of Gur.
Yeah.
I'm all in for that. Like, I would just call him Krond, and we'd be we go out for smoothies like once a week.
But yet, you had to mention Blood Bowl. I mean, it brings back some painful memories, because I've had a bee in my bonnet about Blood Bowl for a long time. Blood Bowl, that's something totally different. Blood Bowl. I mean, ever since we got the stadium for Gen Con, I've been lobbying for a live action Blood Bowl.
Wow.
Right on the Colts field, don't you think?
That would be great.
Yeah,
I think that would go over very well.
Yeah, what could go wrong with that?
It sounds terrifying.
I'm just really taken by the fact that there was a creature named the Drowner, and the first thing that we talked about him was that he teleports your units over places. I would figure that the first thing that he would do would be drowning. But that's just me.
Well, that's the swerve. Like you think he's gonna drown you. Next thing you know, you're teleported.
I love things where you don't know what to expect next. And, there's no one that can swerve you like a boss. or a bundle boss, I dare say. So let's go to our bundle boss and see how we gonna get swerved today.
Javion.
That's me. That's right. I'm your boss now, at least when it comes to bundles. How many of you out there like video games and also like board games? Well, just for you, Humble Bundle is bringing the Game Night Bundle, brought to you actually by In Tandem, Asmodee Digital. So with this bundle, if you pay more than the average of $12.79, you get the entire 19 game bundle of digital board games. So we've got Ticket to Ride, as well as the France and Legendary Asia expansion DLCs. We've got Splendor, which comes with also the Cities and Strongholds DLC. Fans of Carcassonne will be happy to hear that you're also getting the Inns and Cathedrals digital DLC. You get 20% off Gloomhaven, and you also get a Game of Thrones, the board game, as well as Arkham Horror, Mother's Embrace for the Cthulhian gamers out there. We also have the digital form of Terraforming Mars, so you're not going to have to split your table in two to try to find a way to fit all the stuff on Terraforming Mars, because it comes with so much content built in. Also, I forgot to mention we're getting the Ticket to Ride Europe expansion, as well as, hey, Peter, Blood Rage, just for you. You can play some Blood Rage digitally. Isn't that great? We also got the Lord of the Rings adventure card game, Small World, as well as the Be Not Afraid and Grand Dames DLC for Small World. And finally, Love Letter, if you want something kind of simple, but also kind of Elizabethan. So yeah, some really cool board game bundles coming from Humble Bundle. And the charity that is, well, the two charities that are going to be supported by the bundle this week are carbonfund.org Foundation and One Tree Planted. So reduce your carbon footprint and also plant some trees by grabbing yourself a bundle of digital board games. All of these are going to be able to download, or you can connect them to your Steam account if you have Steam. Played on PC, and a lot of them are actually Mac enabled as well, so you don't have to just have it's multiple OSs available for you to use. So once again, you're getting $175 worth of digital board gaming content for just $12.79 or more if you decide you want to help out some more trees getting planted. Definitely check it out at humblebundle.com.
Awesome. Support the trees, save the trees. And now that we've gotten that message off, it's time to meet our regent of the Kickstarters. And you know what? We didn't really pick a regent, so you have been, since you're is first, you are the regent of the Kickstarters, Peter. So
what are my duties?
You must regale us with tales of Kickstarters that you like.
Okay. Well, first thing, I'm going to broaden it to include all crowdfunding platforms so that we can be agnostic about which. But the agnosticism will only take us so far, because I want to talk about the old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game. So unless you're like me, been living under a rock and don't do a lot of podcasts, you probably have heard of the Old Gods of Appalachia, because this is an amazing podcast. It actually got me to listen to a podcast just to get ready for this. Like, wow, I'm now hooked on this intellectual property. So that's one incremental sale for sure that we can owe to the RPG. So I hope that the owner, the podcast the podcast people, not like the pod people, the guys that do the podcast. Yeah, Steve Shell and Cam Collins. Already one more customer due to that. So Monty Cook Games is doing an RPG based on this Old Gods of Appalachia. So it'll use the cipher system. So now what is this? Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So it is like horror set up in the holler, like up in coal mining country, sort of about 100 years ago, 1920s, 1930s. And you and the other players are all part of a family or part of a community, right? And there's the local horror. And in this setting, magic is out there, supernatural stuff happens, and that's just the way it is. And it's so I talked to Monty Cook about it. I gave him a call, and first of all, I congratulated him on the fact that in 3 days they raised basically $1 million. And Monty says in 3 days they broke records for any of their Kickstarters they've done to date. So yeah, they were very excited about it. So when he was talking to me about this game, he talked a lot about how the horror is really personal. Like, you and the other players are part of a family, and you're in a community. Nobody's going to come and help you out. The horror that is out in the woods or out somewhere, that horror relates to your family's history, and it's your family's lives and sanity that's at stake, and it's up to you to fix it. So it sounds
That's chilling.
It sounds pretty good. He said it's it is being compared a lot to Lovecraft. It's just kind of looking for a place to file that in terms of the style of horror, but he kept coming back to the word personal. It's more personal. So personal horror set up in the holler, up in the mountains, woods of Kentucky, Tennessee, up in the Appalachians. Sign me up. I'm there.
Oof. Yeah, I don't need to be spooked like that.
that sounds so like to give you an idea of the behind the scenes of this. Peter had to literally the link was there, and Peter jumped on the link and covered it and said no one could touch this but him. Like, we were all fighting over this. This looks so cool.
I called dibs before it was even on the agenda.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That Kickstarter has been crushing it too, man.
Well, okay, so I will now appoint the next Kickstarter as regent, using my authority wisely. Markus, tell us about a Kickstarter that you would recommend to those of us to those of them, the people, everybody who's watching.
Absolutely, I would love to. My Kickstarter is not quite actually up on Kickstarter at this moment, so I am going a little out of formula here. But this is called Brindlewood Bay. Now, clearly someone has been reading my fan fiction where Angela Lansbury's Jessica Fletcher has been laying the smackdown on Cthulhu, because that's basically what this is. This is a cozy murder mystery RPG. Brindlewood Bay is a role-playing game about a group of elderly women, members of the local Murder Mavens, a mystery book club, who frequently find themselves investigating and solving real-life mysteries around the town. However, they become increasingly aware that there are supernatural forces that are connecting the cases that they've been working on. In particular, a cult dedicated to the dark and monstrous goddess Persephone. This is really, really cool. I'm going to drop the link in chat because there's no Kickstarter for it yet. There's a Kickstarter landing page, but the art is really cool. If you want to check this out, this game has actually already gone platinum bestseller on Drive-Thru-RPG, and this Kickstarter coming on April 26th is to print physical copies of the original book, as well as my personal favorite expansion, Nephews in Peril, with a bunch of new mysteries coming. Mystery of Dead Man's Hand, Lies and Dolls, Deadly Silent Auction, Homecoming Bonfire Cliff, Carnival Carnage, and Fudge, Jury, and Executioner. One of the other really cool things, if you buy this item's Kickstarter, available is a cookbook written by the characters in the campaign. One of the characters used to own it, so there's a lot of notes in the margin, as well as one of the game's designers actually led a sneaky little mystery inside of the margin. So if you get that, you can check that out. This is coming the 26th of April. If you like weird stuff, if you like adorable art, I'm going to drop the link in chat right now. I'm on board for this.
And I see Sarah of Sarah's Table is trying to get it as a game on her show.
Well, Sarah, if you ever need anyone to be an old lady hunting down Cthulian monsters or some kind, right there, I'm right here. Right here.
I mean, can I also offer to be an old lady?
We all want to be old ladies.
I volunteer to be Blanche. I am more than happy to seduce a Cthulhu monster. Give me a tentacle monster, and I will take care of it.
they had
take
me
that thing
bought
down.
and sold with nephews in peril.
I
Not
know!
the nephews.
I know if you, I just dropped the link in the chat. I don't know if it's got the nephews in peril on it, but it is the nephews in peril. It's a bunch of tentacles moving in with like that old beautiful font. Nephews in peril. Yeah, this looks really cool. So this is my pick on my Kickstarter. So I'm gonna pass this over. I'm gonna crumple up this ball and I'm gonna toss it. Actually, I'm gonna toss it up stickball style over to Noir. So Noir, what do you got?
I'm supposed to go next after nephews in peril.
Yeah.
All right. Hey everybody. Here's my Kickstarter, and it's called Dead Theorist of philosophy. I can't word right now. It's a philosophy card game. There we go. Dead Theorist. I highly recommend it. A specter is haunting a university in the game. It's actually 4 specters. It's the ghost of Karl Marx, Simone de Beauvoir, Michael Foucault, and W.E. Du Bois. And they have unfinished business. They're trying to find the next great philosopher, and there are tons of things that are getting in their way. First, the forces of neoliberalism have been hard at work dismantling the education system. It's tough for them to enlist a final protege from within today's business-oriented universities. And second, you've got competition. Other spirits have awoken and they're dead set on halting your progress and advancing their own agendas. So this is just, if you like fun philosophy humor, very much in the vein of The Good Place, and you just like a fun card game, you want to understand half of the things that Chidi was saying in The Good Place, this is a good game to play to really really get that down. So yeah, that's my Kickstarter. We've got the link in chat. And I'm gonna pass it on over because I still got the chuckles from nephews, and I'm gonna hand it on over to Javion. Javion, let's end on a high note. What do you got for us?
I got a real exciting Kickstarter for y'all. Um, some of you may have heard of Matthew Colville's company, NCDM. We talked about it actually pretty recently, and the Kickstarter, uh, Kingdoms and Warfare, that's actually coming out really soon. That's already had a really successful Kickstarter. Well, they've been working on a new monster book for 5e for a couple of years now. So yeah, so this one is designed to be a monster book for people who are for DMs who want monsters that are new, that are different, that sort of are more outside the norm of the typical things you might find in like the Monster Manual or Volo's Guide to Monsters. So um, Matthew Colville developed a system, not really a system, more of like a way of thinking about monsters that's a little bit different than what we've seen in all of the official books. Action-oriented monsters is this way of making your creatures, these big battles, more exciting, more original and unique, giving them actions outside of the normal combat economy that we usually get. They've also created a number of really cool monsters designed specifically by Matthew Colville and their team with some really amazing artists that sort of put a twist on the traditional monsters that we've seen. So you've got like a goblin queen, you've got a beholder that has like armor and a bunch of floating little eyeball monsters that are sort of like these uh, surveyors that scan the beholder headquarters, their lair underground, giving it more access to its environment as well. Um, and the really cool thing about this Kickstarter is that you not only are getting access to the physical copy that you pay for, or the PDF if you choose, but you actually get to play test a bunch of the content as it is slowly rolled out. So the full book isn't actually completely finished yet. They're still doing a lot of the play testing. They just started the Kickstarter a little bit earlier so people could get access to it even quicker, which is pretty awesome. So, um, what you're doing is you're finding a lot of content for new monsters in classic environments. So you've got this really cool corpse collector, which is like this giant monster made out of bones that literally is like feeding off of the corpses that it collects and brings back to its lair, and it's like manipulating them with like this lich and like this necromancer kind of feel to it, which is really cool. You get a bunch of new rules as well. So you aren't just playing like the normal 5e stuff with your monsters. You get these minions, which follow a lot of the strongholds and followers rules that they built in one of their other Kickstarters. But you also get like companions, like the Lightbender, because you're not just getting monsters, you're getting pets and like allies and stuff like that. And this Lightbender is basically like this giant puma, like panther creature that can control light. And it's got these wicked like tentacle tails. It's so cool looking. Anyway, so this Kickstarter has about 16 days to go, and you can pledge $40 or more to just get the digital content. But I've already backed, and I strongly recommend the standard hardcover book and PDF because you can, like I said, you're going to be able to not just get the book when it comes out. You can actually playtest a lot of the stuff. There's even a preview PDF that you can look at right now that has a bunch of content that's already been play tested and balanced a little bit, but they're looking for more feedback. So if you find them on Discord and things like that, you can provide some of your insights to them. Highly recommend you at least checking out the Kickstarter here and get some inspiration from all the cool ideas coming from the NCDM crew. And yeah, definitely keep your eyes open for all of the different stuff that they're going to be releasing, like Arcadia and all of the other NCDM projects.
All right. And so, like, that is all the Kickstarters that we have for you today, and that's going to bring us to just about the end of our show for you today. Here, please be sure to stick around because up next we have TableTakes Game Night. I love that name. We really did it with the name there. We'll be playing Everyday Heroes. It's part 2 of our 5-part series, GM'd by the wonderful Super Dylan, who has the epic task of trying to keep a handle on this crew. God bless them. Next, after that, is Sarah's Table at 5 p.m. They'll be playing Yazba's Bed and Breakfast. I do believe we covered that.
Yeah, we did.
Here.
I'll also be on that one.
Yeah, it's the one with the really beautiful art. So yeah, definitely be sure to check that out. And then we have Nerdbockery Adventures this Sunday. Nerdbockery. I said Bockery. Oh, Lord. Nerdbockery Adventures this Sunday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. D&D cosplay and a whole lot of Dwarven Forge. I love Dwarven Forge. So just get to see the scene come to life. It's beautiful. After that, Gen Con TV streaming schedule is Monday, 4 p.m. Board Games with the Brothers Murph. Join brothers Nick and Mike as they play James Bond deck building game from Upper Deck. I did not know there was a James Bond deck builder, and I want to check that out. Like, do you get to choose which Bond you are? I guess I'll have to watch to find out. On Tuesday at 4 p.m., check out Out of Character with Mark Tassin with our guest, Eric Nanali, I believe is the correct pronunciation. Yes. At 5 p.m., we've got Kathy Paints. And on Wednesday, 6 p.m., we've got Actoroki, which apparently has a lot of tears from Javion and a lot of laughter from Peter. So come to see what's going on there. The final script reading of Series 2 is going down, so check it out. And then, of course, on Fridays, 2 p.m., TableTakes with us, and we'll have a special guest next week, Sarah Moore. Very excited to have Sarah join us again at 3:30. TableTakes Game Night. We'll be doing part 3 of our Everyday Heroes run, as long as we don't die later today. And then at 5 p.m. Again, it's Sarah's table. Sarah's pulling in double duty on Friday, and they'll be playing. Oh goodness, I'm gonna hand that to Peter.
We will be playing. I can't wait. We're gonna be playing Ganakagak. It is a RPG based on Inuit mythology and folklore. It is set up in the cold Iceland. It's a very mythic, poetic sort of game about the change that's coming, because forever the people have lived under the stars, but the player characters have seen that a change is coming. The sun is coming. And what does that mean for the people? So,
man, sometimes you pass on an assignment to somebody else, and you just watch them dunk. It's like I just passed the ball to Michael Jordan just there. Look at that. Killed that. So finally, the most important part is to make sure that we thank all of you for coming in and watching. You're what makes all of this possible. So thank you for your eyeballs, your attention, and your support. And with that, I want to also thank the lovely hosts that are rocking with me today. Markus, this was your last one with us for a little bit.
I know. It's okay. Thank you so much. But don't worry. You guys get Sarah Moore next week. And then the week after, you get Sarah Moore again. And then guess who's coming back?
Do we get more Sarah?
We're getting more Sarah. And then we get Bonsai.
Yay!
Bonsai's coming home soon.
Yes.
We miss you, Bonsai.
Also, thank you to the lovely Javion and Peter. So that's been us. We'll see you in a little bit as we get ready to play Everyday Heroes and hope for the best.
Yeah, see y'all at 3:30.
Yes. Please remember, if you miss any of our programming, you can check out our VODs here on Twitch and on YouTube 24 hours later. And please be sure to follow GCTV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long.
That's all for now.
Goodbye. See you real soon.